Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. The news is live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. I am Zoe Abubeiduadu. Coming up, inflation falls for the fifth consecutive time as the rate declines to 21.2% for April 2025.
In April 2025, the general price level was 21.2% higher than what was recorded in April 2024.
Also coming up, government moves to revive aviation sector as it sets up a 10-member committee, a 10-member team to develop Ghana's national airline framework.
We are the gateway to Africa. We are establishing ourselves to become the hub of aviation to West Africa. We cannot do this without participating in that industry.
Still ahead, tensions in Asawasi NDC over appointment of Asokore Mampong MC, and later, Roads Minister decries rising cost of projects amid poor work quality.
How come the cost of delivering projects keep skyrocketing in their mind, and yet standards of those same projects keep falling?
The news is live across a number of our partner stations. In the Northeast region, we're on Eagle FM 94.1 in Wale Upper West, West Link 88.1 FM in Laura, Upper East, Word FM 88.3 in Zuarungu, Northern region, Dasuma 99.1 in Yendi, Volta region, Akpini Radio 96.7 in Pando, and Heritage FM 107.3 in Hohoi, Ashanti region, Orange FM 107.9 in Komase, Bono region, J Life 95.5 FM in Sunyani, and in the Western region, we're on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM in Takrade. We're also live on YouTube, on Citi FM's YouTube page, as well as Facebook and as well as our Facebook and Twitter handles.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for your time this afternoon. Now, the rate of inflation declined to 21.2% in April 2025, its lowest level in 8 months, as a stronger cedi has helped curb import-related price pressures. The latest figure marks a slight improvement from the 22.4% recorded in March and reflects the fifth consecutive month of disinflation in 2025. Both food and non-food inflation, moderated during the period, contributed to the downward trend. Here is government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu.
Consumer Price Index for April 2025 was 258.6, and this is coming up from 213.3 recorded in April 2024, which represents a year-on-year inflation rate of 21.2%. This means that in April 2025, the general price level was 21.2% higher than what was recorded in April 2024. This represents a 1.2 percentage points decrease from the March rate of 22.4%. In other words, inflation slowed by 1.2 percentage points over the period. And the good news here is that this is the fifth time we are seeing inflation decline.
That was government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu. Now, policy think tank Imani Africa has clarified that its petition against the Electoral Commission is not intended to seek the removal of the EC chairperson. Imani filed the petition with the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, last year, calling for an urgent investigation into what it describes as constitutional and administrative breaches by the Electoral Commission. Speaking to Citi News, Imani Africa President Franklin Kujo accused the EC of disposing of electoral materials under circumstances the think tank believes amounts to misappropriation, wastage and misuse of public resources.
I suspect because of the elections, it has a bit stalled a bit. But again, the Israel received it, and then, as probably might want to use the word prima facie, they decided to go into the merits of the case. They asked us for some follow-up details. We backed it up. We sent it to them, and so we've been waiting. Hopefully, maybe, our our thinking was that maybe by the end of this quarter, we'll get to know the updates on the case. We're asking for investigation to the EC since 2020, but the ruling party at the time now position ignored us. So frankly, I don't care how they interpret it, because it's not as if we are doing it because there's a new dispensation. No, we did it while they were in power. So you cannot accuse us of playing to the hands of anybody who wants to remove the EC. That's their business. We are asking for investigations to the possible, of course, corruption issues. And so that's all we are pursuing.
The House President for Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo. Now, there's tension within the National Democratic Congress in the Asawase constituency following the appointment of a new municipal chief executive for the Asokore Mampong municipality. Now, President Mahama has named Ben Abdallah Al-Hassan, the party's election and research director in the area, as the new MCE. But while some party members have welcomed the appointment, another group is not happy with the appointment. Let's speak to the bureau chief for the Middle Belt, Hafiz Tijani, for more on this. Good afternoon, Hafiz.
Good afternoon, Zoe.
Why is the other group opposed to his nomination or appointment?
Well, Zoe, before today, the party members were divided in terms of the candidates that presented themselves for vetting for this position. So the party's chairman, Faisal Dauda, who also wanted to become the MCE, was seen as the front runner in this race. So he has his supporters on the side, and the other group who are aligned with the Member of Parliament for the area, they also had their preferred candidates. So even before today, there were some, so to say, attacks on social media in terms of throwing jabs at one another on social media, talk of the factions involved in this particular issue. So when the appointment came yesterday, these groups say they are not happy because they believe that the chairman has sacrificed for the party in the constituency, and he was the ideal candidate to be presented as a nominee or to be appointed as the MC for the municipality. And they do not understand why the nominee, who is the research and election director of the constituency, has been given this position. So they are calling on the president to reject or to rescind that decision to at least reappoint the chairman for the constituency to occupy that position. But the other side are also saying that they endorse this appointment by the president, and they are commending the president and saying that they want development. They are calling on the other side to join them and ensure that they get this nominee succeed in terms of bringing development to the constituency. So currently in the constituency, we have one group that is on a float, jubilating this appointment, and the others are not happy. They spoke to us and they were not so happy about this development.
This issue has been lingering for a while, and you indicated that even before the nomination by the president came, the factions were there. Has there been any attempt by the Ashanti Regional NDC to address these issues?
There have been several attempts, Zoe. We understand that even the national executives had to intervene. They invited the chairman and the member of parliament and tried to at least reconcile this kind of faction within the constituency, but that didn't work. The regional executives made series of attempts that didn't work, and the national had to come in, and we are still seeing this development.
The faction that is opposed to Ben Abdallah Al-Hassan's nomination held a press conference today. What are they saying they are going to do if his nomination still stands?
Well, they say they are party members and they will advise themselves, but they have not given any clear steps they were going to take. They just said that they were going to advise themselves and that they are still party members. And if the chairman of the constituency has been sidelined, they see that as a mistreatment by the party's leadership. So if he, as a chairman, has been treated this way, they say that they will also be treated unfairly should the need arise, and they would advise themselves if the president doesn't rescind his decisions.
Thank you so much for your time. That's the Bureau Chief for the Middle Belt, Hafiz Tijani. Let's now listen to Suleiman Masoud, who is the group's spokesperson who addressed the news conference today.
So we are voicing today because we want to send a strong signal that what you have chose for us or what you have imposed for us, we don't want. The reason why we don't want is that the grassroots knows Chairman Concern, who is Bin Abdullah. Let them bring us his traction in the constituency. But Chairman, he is not having money, but he worked tirelessly. He know where he had his money to campaign. Devoid the fact that the MP did not support him financially, but he had his way through. He launched his campaign. He shared a lot of T-shirts. We did a lot of campaign through the rains, hurdles and toddles of the day. So we are sending this strong signal to you, the leadership of the party, that you are causing chaos. You want more division in the party because you cannot serve one side and leave the other.
So that was a spokesperson for the aggrieved NDC grassroots in Asawasi, Suleiman Masoud. On the other hand, some executives or constituency executives have endorsed the nomination, commending President Mahama and urging all party members to support the nominee.
We, the people of Asokore and Asawasi constituency, wholeheartedly accept his appointment in good faith. We view it as an opportunity to work collaboratively with Honorable Ben Abdullah Al-Hassan to bring about sustainable development, economic growth, and improved living standard for all residents of the municipality. We are confident that his leadership would embody the values of accountability, transparency, and inclusivity, which are critical to fulfilling the aspiration of our people.
That was Aminu Mohammed, who is a Deputy Director of Elections in the Asawase constituency. Now, in a move to rejuvenate Ghana's aviation sector, Transport Minister Joseph Bukari Nikpe has inaugurated a 10-member task force charged with steering the establishment of a new national airline. The initiative aims to position Ghana as a competitive aviation hub in West Africa and bolster regional air connectivity. The task force is chaired by the former managing director of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Charles Asare. Speaking at the inauguration, the minister highlighted government's commitment to establishing a sustainable and efficient national carrier.
We are the gateway to Africa. We are establishing ourselves to become the hub of aviation to West Africa. We cannot do this without participating in that industry. For this reason, the president has constituted you, and you will soon be inaugurated, to ensure that we compete and also take full advantage of the facilities we have worked so hard to create over the years. We, as a government and the Ministry of Transport, our vision and hope is to make Ghana the transportation hub, whether in aviation, in maritime, and on road. It is our vision that we play that role of connecting people within the sub-region and to the rest of the world. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the president is confident in you, and he has tasked me to, on his behalf, let Ghanaians know that he has put together a 10-member task force comprising Mr. Charles Asare as the chairman.
Transport Minister Joseph Bukari Nikpe. Speaking on behalf of the task force, the chairman Charles Asare pledged the team's unwavering commitment to ensuring the successful realization of the national airline. He stated that the task force will diligently work to develop a robust business model.
The vision is very clear to us. The task ahead, quite defined, and I consider our job is to execute. Some of the members of the team I've worked with, and I can say confidently that we have the right set of skills and experience to deliver on his dream. It's not just his dream, and I think it's Ghana's dream. I've had discussions with some of my colleagues going back about 20 years in all the political parties' manifestos. You see an attempt to revive the Ghana National Airlines. This is the time. We are the last stop to make sure it is done. And we will do whatever we have to with your support and the support of the presidency to deliver on this in the shortest possible time.
That was the chairman of the 10-member task force charged with steering the establishment of a new national airline, Charles Asari. You're still listening to the City Prime News. Still to come, Roads Minister decries rising cost of projects amid poor work quality. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel 1 TV invites you to exhibit at AgriFair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery? This is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us on the City Prime News. Now, the Minister of Roads and Highways, Kwame Agbodza, has expressed concern about the rising cost of road projects despite a decline in the quality of work. He revealed that the country is expected to pay nearly 100 billion Ghana cedis to contractors, comprising a debt of 21 billion cedis and an additional 60 billion in interest due to delayed payments. Speaking at a sword-cutting ceremony for the construction of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors Center of Excellence, Mr. Agbodza called on the institution to help ensure that project costs reflect the quality of work delivered.
How come the cost of delivering projects keep skyrocketing in their mind, and yet standards of those same projects keep falling? And then 3, the efficacy of the contracts that are written much of the time by you and I feel the institution has a lot of role to play in maintaining, working together with other colleagues, especially civil engineers. I'm talking specifically about my ministry, to address the issue about quality of work. And I know the design is normally done by other people, civil engineers, particularly in the ministry. But one critical part is the cost. My brothers and sisters, as I stand here, you and I are expected to pay 21 billion Ghana cedi of contracts executed and not paid for. The question is, if you go around your community, where are the projects that is worth this amount of money? To make it worse for you, when we calculate interest on delayed payment, that could be 60 billion Ghana cedi. Together, we are approaching 100 billion Ghana cedi on road alone.
That was the Minister of Roads and Highways, Kwame Agbodza. The president of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, Kofi Obeng Ayerebi, says the new Center of Excellence being constructed by the institution will help address these concerns.
A center to technically evaluate public and private sector projects to ensure cost efficiency, effectiveness, and sustainability. And we've shown it in our project here. It will also provide post-project audits for greater transparency and accountability. Data processing hub, very, very key here. It will be a repository of an analysis center for vital data on infrastructure costs, land values, and real estate market values, supporting evidence-based policy making and investment. Additionally, the center will serve as a training and capacity building institution, empowering both young and experienced professionals in ADR, project auditing, cost engineering, and data analytics.
President of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, Kofi Obeng Ayrebi. Former Auditor General Daniel Yao Domelovo has described the 20,000 cedis gift threshold outlined in the newly launched Code of Conduct for Political Appointees as excessive. According to the code, launched by President Mahama on Monday, a minister may accept gifts during an official visit to an institution, but the value of the gift should not exceed 20,000 cedis. In an interview on Eyewitness News on Citi FM, Mr. Domelovo urged the government to reconsider the threshold while acknowledging that the code is a step in the right direction towards promoting ethics in public office.
You have been invited to a program at a workshop, not a workshop, those celebrations, a festival or something of that nature, and they give you a gift. Those are normally the ones
maybe a goat, and or tubers of yam.
But assuming they give you about 10 cows, I don't know what the value will be.
That's huge. That's huge. Even 2 cows will take you beyond 20,000.
You see, so if you receive 2 cows, you may have to give it out. But if in the course of doing your work, a contractor comes and says that this is appreciation of even 1 cedi, I think it is wrong. The point I'm making is that whereas there are cases or instances where those gifts may be justifiable, 20,000 is on the high side.
Former Auditor General Daniel Yao Domelovo. The General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Fifi Fiavi-Kwete, has criticized the previous New Patriotic Party government for its handling of Ghana's energy sector. He said the NPP left behind a heavily indebted power sector, despite inheriting measures such as the Energy Sector Levy Act, ESLA, introduced by the NDC in 2016 to help regulate the industry. Speaking on Face-to-Face on Channel 1 TV with Umaru Sanda Amadou, Mr. Kwete said NPP members, including former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, lack the moral authority to speak on the issue.
One of the places where there was the biggest destruction was in the power sector, where basically, even though NPP was, we left for NPP a country where Doomsor was already resolved, a country that actually had far more power supply capacity than demand at the time they took over. We also handed them what you call the ESLA, that on a yearly basis was giving them in the region of about 3 billion a year. They still have left what you call a power sector that has what you call the greatest level of debt as far as the history of our country is concerned. So naturally, if you have that situation, it's a difficult situation. You don't resolve that situation in 5 months because you now have to take care of, for example, you heard about car power. Car power effectively has reached a place where it's no, we now have to be paid. Because if we are not able to be paid, we cannot continue supplying power. And NPP actually, instead of leaving something that can even pay groups like that, they actually left that, crippling that. And you saw what you call the nauseating procurement that happened, for example, in ECG, where they were procuring what you call input to the tune of 10 years. I know the mischief that's going on, NPP busy shouting, Doomsor is bad, Doomsor is bad. The thing is, you see, they have no conscience. They have no conscience. Their level of shamelessness is simply unbelievable. Me, if I were an MPP, having president of 8 years that I saw the energy sector destroyed, living the kind of debts that we left, I would not even have the moral authority to speak.
General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Fifi Fiavi-Kwete. Engineer and policy analyst Michael Kosidede has raised doubts about the tangible impact of President John Mahama's much publicized 120-day contract, claiming that only 9 out of the 26 outlined promises hold real value, while the rest are largely symbolic and cosmetic. He stressed that a closer look at the 26 deliverables reveals that most of them lack measurable benefits for the public. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily, he questioned the significance of certain pledges such as the rapid appointment of ministers, which he believes should be a given, not celebrated as an achievement.
What is the value in the proposition before us in terms of the 26 items that were put to us? And when I went through them, out of the 26, I think that only 9 of them are really worthy of anything. The rest are largely symbolic and cosmetic. If you say you appoint your ministers within a short time, really what is the value to us? You have been given a mandate to run the country for the next 4 years. So there are things you have to do. The other question is, what happens if this 26 items are not done? What is the repercussion for him? Or is there any punishment? Is there anything? Really nothing. So for me, a lot of it is cosmetic, not much value to it.
That's an engineer and policy analyst, Michael Kosi Dede. Let's still stay with the Mohammed's administration 120-day social contract, because the Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party's 2024 campaign, Dennis Miracles Abuaje, has described it as lacking substance. He accused the National Democratic Congress of drafting the contract solely to win votes in the 2024 elections without a clear roadmap for implementation.
I think that in the last 120 days, the reality, not these theories, the reality is that we've been saddled with a group of people who have been disturbing our ears with lamentations and complaints. Almost all of them. It's as if the government came into office without a plan, without a strategy. It's almost beginning to look as if all the things they were saying, which was giving the Ghanaian people hope that they were going to, or they were an alternative, or they had alternative solutions to some of our challenges, were just rhetorics. And that they really didn't have any concrete plans. So you listen to the cocoa board CEO, who is moving from one cocoa farm to the other with this leather chair. And the farmers tell him that you promised that specifically, that cocoa should be 6,000 per, and shouldn't be 3,000. Why haven't you done it? And then he says, since we realized that there's a lot of mess in cocoa board, and the way cocoa board is a mess, it will be difficult for us to increase. So what was the indicators based on which you made that promise?
So that's the Director of Communications for the NPP 2024 campaign, Dennis Miracles Abuaje, reacting to his comments. A member of the National Democratic Congress communication team, Hamza Suhini, says President Mahama is focused on building a lasting legacy.
How committed we have been as far as that 120-day social contract is concerned. My brother is asking what is the value or significance.
Exactly. I was going to ask you about that.
You see, one of the fundamental problems we had in this country over the last 8 years was because the NPP government led this country into a state where the good people of this country lost confidence in the political class. They simply could not trust the political class again. So such novel introductions is an important way of engendering trust, especially for a new government. Because if the people actually see you being committed to the very things that you said you do in your 120 days, it gives them the confidence that indeed this is a leader we can trust. And we have argued, even before the assumption of office, that President Mahama is a trustworthy character that needs the support of the good people of this country. So for us, it means a lot.
That was a member of the National Democratic Congress's communication team, Hamza Suhini. That'll be all for this edition of the Citi Prime News. Before we go, a recap of some of our headlines. Inflation falls for 5th consecutive time as rate declines to 21.2% for April 2025. Also, tensions in Asawasi NDC over appointment of Asokore Mampong MC, and government moves to revive aviation sector as it sets up a 10-member team to develop Ghana's national airline framework. You can log on to our website, citynewsroom.com, for more news. I am Zoe Abubeduado. Many thanks for your time.
Citi News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.
Citi 97.3. More variety.